My next guest is here to help moms everywhere turn one of life's biggest transitions into a powerful new beginning. Karla Olson is a speaker, coach, and the author of the best-selling new book, The Almost Empty Nester: Rediscover Who You Are Before Your Kids Leave the Nest. And this mother of three has written a roadmap to reclaiming identity, purpose, and joy in the next chapter of life. And Karla joins me now. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here.
Oh my gosh. So the almost is key in this title. Why is the almost stage so important?
Well, for me, it was when my first daughter graduated in 2019, and everyone was on the field taking like beautiful pictures of their kids. And I kept hearing like, oh, you're almost an empty nester. Not to me, but my other friends that their youngest was leaving. And I thought, oh, I have 6 years until I have to worry about that. Fast forward 3 years, when my second daughter graduated, I still couldn't answer the question like, what was I gonna do in my empty nest? And so that's when I wrote down the book and started researching it for 3 years. And then my youngest is graduating in September. So I thought preparation was really important.
Preparation is key.
Yeah.
Why right now, too, do you feel like this book is so important for people to read and important that this had to happen now?
You know, I really felt when I did all my research, I mean, there was 22 million empty nesters in the US alone at the time. This was about a year ago.
Wow.
And 63% report feeling lost and lonely. That's like 15 million people. And so I thought something needed to be changed about empty nesting, thinking of it like a position, instead of coming at it from a position of lack. It's really like an opportunity for more joy, right? To rediscover what your passions are when your kids aren't around every day, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I wrote the book, and it took about 3 years to write. But also I thought it was so important. I wrote it with 3 different sections because I start off the book by looking back at the past. Because as a mom, when's the last time you've really stopped and looked at everything you've done for the last 20 years for your family? So we like take the time for the mom to write like a highlight reel for herself. We have the kids write a highlight reel for the mom, which that's my favorite chapter of the book. And then it's just so nice to take a look back before we move forward. So.
Gosh, I have so many friends that once they become a mom, and I assume that it's kind of like that as an empty nester, you identify so much with being a mom, and then it's like, now what?
Yes.
Who am I?
Exactly.
You know. You're always a mom for life.
Right.
But
and that's the thing. It's like, I think we always have these soul whispers, you know, especially women. And oftentimes those get put a little bit on the back burner because we're just so busy mothering. It's such an active job, right? I feel like it's like running a baton race. You know, we have this baby, you run it for 18 years, you pass the baton to them, and then you're like, now what do I do, right?
So true.
And so we really have a proven framework. There's a lot of brain science in there. There's a lot of psychology, because I want people to not just think about their empty nest. I want them to envision it like a blank canvas that they could go do anything that they want to do.
That's such a beautiful way of thinking it. And like you said, it's a workbook. It's not just a book. So let's go through a few pages on how it could be used and the prompts and everything and how we could discuss it.
Yeah, exactly. So the reflection journal mirrors the book. And basically the first 7 chapters, like I said, are all about the past. And then the middle section is really about getting clear with what you want in the present. Like, what do you believe about empty nesting? Do you have any limiting beliefs that we need to get rid of before you go into your empty nesting? Because I think sometimes women listen to their inner critic a little bit more than their inner compass. So we teach the reader how to do that so that when they go into empty nesting, they really are coming at it from abundant, you know, an abundant, instead of like a lack, right? So.
Gosh, I love a workbook.
I do too.
I absolutely love writing things down,
Yes.
journaling. And this is so beautiful. Motherhood is a collection of countless small moments that add up to a lifetime of love, sacrifice, and joy. It's your beautiful, unique masterpiece.
Yes, exactly.
That's so
and that's what I want
beautiful.
for everyone's. It's hard when the kids leave. I mean, my youngest will be leaving in 30 days. So I'm going through exactly what I'm writing through, but I'll be more prepared this time, because when I did my research, the happiest empty nesters didn't ignore it. They didn't just let it happen to them. They really were intentional. They really prepared for it.
Yeah, and can you share a moment from your own life that made you really realize that you needed this transition and you needed to focus on making it intentional?
Yes, I mean, when my second daughter left, that's all everyone was talking about to me. They were like, oh my gosh, you're gonna be an empty nester. What do you wanna do? And at the time I had a TV show in Park City, but then the station shut down because I loved getting other people's stories out there. I want women to rise. I want women to just be lit up from within, right? Because when we go after our dreams, our kids see that, and then they are gonna wanna go after theirs. So it's like, has this beautiful ripple effect in our family. So that's the whole goal of the book and the journal.
Oh gosh. And what's one piece of advice that you would give a mom that's feeling anxious during this time?
Well, we do have a book club starting tomorrow night, so if I can say that. So it's
Ooh.
on, my website's called theemptynesterclub.com, and this is our last free virtual workbook. It's a book club, but we're going through this with like 30 other moms, and then it's so nice to go through this with a community of women that are going through the exact same thing that you are. But my first piece of advice is I would just try to just take a minute, close your eyes, and think about like, what's something I've always wanted to do? And it's always been in the back of my mind. Like for me, it was singing, guitar, and just spend 30 minutes researching it. There's so much out on the internet. So instead of thinking about it, like I think action is our greatest teacher. So if you just take that little action and research it, it might just give you that little nudge to start doing something you've always wanted to do. And it's simple.
It is. And do you see this book too as part of like a larger movement? I mean, you talk about the book club, but
I do.
This really is a new movement that I haven't heard about.
Yeah, so actually this morning, we just had our first Empty Nest Summit. So we have 15 experts. There's going to be a video released every day. Mine will be released, I think, on Friday. But there's probably about 100,000 people that are signed up for this summit. That's how much moms are talking about empty nesting online. And I also see a big movement around menopause. I think women are just in our midlives, we're really waking up to what our midlife mission is in so many different areas. And I see it as part of that collective.
Gosh, thank you so much for being here. This was really wonderful. We appreciate your time.
Yeah.